Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Lazy Universe and I'm White and Nerdy, and it's time for a Lazy Universe movie review for you guys, suggested by the YouTube subscriber poll. As this is the only one that only had one vote on it, and I know who voted for it. Unlike the last one that you're gonna be seeing, that nobody voted for. Just throwing it out there. That it's kind of sad. Yeah. But then watch the video be like insanely popular. And then I'd be sitting there going, and nobody voted on this because why exactly? Who knows? But because I'm wearing a Disney shirt, you're probably expecting that I'm talking about Disney. Oh yeah, it's also the title of the damn video, yeah. But we are talking about the insanely great sequel, the sequel to Inside Out. We're going to be talking about the legendary sequel to Inside Out, and we're going to be talking about Inside Out 2. This will be my review, retrospective, whatever you want to call it, upon Inside Out 2. So if you have not seen Inside Out 2, just to be forewarned, there might be some spoilers inside of this review. So again, if you have not seen Inside Out 2 and you really want to watch this review, please go watch the movie first, and then you can come back and watch the review. Otherwise, just be forewarned that there are spoilers. Now, I remember when Inside Out 1 first came out, and I'm like, I don't think that I would enjoy this movie so much. I'm like, I think that I'm a classy type of guy, that I won't like this type of movie. And then my little sister, when she was younger, basically convinced me into taking it out of a library, and I absolutely fell in love with Inside Out. It became one of my favorite movies back in when it came out. I think 2018 is when it came out. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong about that. But I think that's when I saw it for the first time was back in 2018, and I absolutely loved the film. I thought it was great. I thought it was exceptional. I did not ever see anything like that before, and it really captivated me by how great the story is. And they always hinted that there was going to be a sequel, and it just was going to take time. And I'm thankful that Disney had did that, and by giving us Inside Out 2, which carried over straight from the ending of Inside Out 2 of Inside Out, and that was the thing that I was worried about, was that they're not going to continue the story from the last time, and thankfully that they did end up doing so. We see that Riley had grown up. She absolutely became a 13-year-old, and she's actually moving on for much better of a life for what it's worth, and that she's actually getting a lot better. And also, she still has her insane emotions, and yes, she still is playing hockey, as she always has anticipated of doing within the first movie, so I'm very happy that they decided to leave that in. But this is when the movie decides to tell you that Riley's going through a different emotion because she's becoming a teenager, so she's not having the same emotions as she did within the first movie, where we see the importance of sadness. The importance of sadness was one of my favorite moments from Inside Out, is because we always noticed that sadness was shoved off into the corner for the one part, and it's because Joy wanted to basically possess, in a sense, possess Riley, make her always happy, when it's important for her to have other emotions aside from happiness several hundred times. And here you see that Joy is still trying to protect this young lady instead of letting her feel these new emotions. And I'm kind of glad that they carried over that trope. At first, I was like, she's still possessive of Riley, and then I'm willing to accept it because it's like, okay, all right, I get how this is. Like, she technically, in a sense, is like her protector, her guardian angel, and I really do get that, and they did a good job of experimenting with that. But they kind of hint early on that, like, Riley's gonna have some new emotions that show up. And a long time when this movie was announced, they said that there was gonna be some new emotions. There were hundreds that they've shown in sketches, but there were only a new 4 that they've showed. And so technically it's like, move over the old 4 and introducing the new 4. We'll come back to them in just a bit here. But I do have to say, I love how they expressed that, of how much the emotion for Riley kind of got along ever since the last movie ended. They're kind of grown up just the same as Riley did, and that all in all just makes me so much happier. As we notice that Riley, yeah, is going through some changes, she's going through some new and different and other things, but all at the same time, she's going through, well, whatever else that she's going through. Which, as we find out, Riley had something new to protect. It's called her core, and her core is protected by core memories that basically make up the center of Riley, which I think is so cool. But it's not long before we're introduced to the main villain of the movie. Yeah, believe it or not, Inside Out 2 has a villain, and it's a villain in the form of the emotion known as anxiety.
Manage a calendar, walk your dog, carry your things, watch you sleep. Wow, you have a lot of energy. Maybe you could just stay in one place. Anything. Just call my name and
With Riley's new emotion of shyness, of embarrassment, boredom, anxiety, and I forget what the other one is, Riley has so many emotions that's flying through her little head right now. And yes, it's not long before anxiety takes over the whole show and basically tries to make Riley her own person and do her own thing that she doesn't want to do. As a person with anxiety issues, when they introduce anxiety, at first I'm like, they're gonna probably screw this up, probably, because there's no way to really properly introduce anxiety. But the more that she was on screen, the more it's like, oh my god, this is definitely anxiety. This is what myself, because I have really bad anxiety issues, and other people that have it as well as young adults or teenagers. This is what they go through. Like this is everything that they go through, and I'm like, oh my god. And then when you're under anxiety, you're trying to do things to make things better. Like if you accidentally make something worse, and anxiety tries to do that. But then anxiety actually manages to make everything worse, believe it or not, because they're like, yeah, anxiety can be a hard thing to kind of like control and to really get your hands on, and and it always is a problem. But always with the problem with anxiety is that it always has a way to make things worse, and Inside Out 2 did a really good job of being like, hey, this is anxiety, she's going to make a whole lot of things worse. And I'm like, you made a villain for Inside Out 2? Huh? But it really is interesting how they handle the arc of of anxiety when she's first introduced and then takes over the show, only to need everybody's help during the end. It's really wonderful. I'm not gonna spoil it for people because it really is a good arc of a villain becoming a hero, kind of becomes, because she's so anxious that she wants to start the show immediately. She even has a secret underground base that plan out her future, and I'm like, that's anxiety. That is definitely anxiety. And the film, both the director and the writer did a really good job of encapsulating this. And if you could imagine, yep, the other emotions do actually become heroes for Riley. They have to actually save her from being destroyed by her own anxiety issue. And I mean, they did a great job making anxiety the villain. Oh my god, I kind of hated her towards the end of the movie a little bit. And also, it's so captivating watching the other emotions instead of the original four. Yeah, I like the original four, but adding a nice little bit of flavor to everything makes it all the more nicer and all the more cooler. Which, of course, it had Joy learn a lesson about Riley yet again, which, I'll be honest, I didn't really like it. I got it, but I was kind of like, really though? And I do like how Riley goes through an anxiety attack, the way that they've animated it and the way that they pulled it out. I'm like, yes, this is exactly anxiety. And I'm so glad to say that Disney and Pixar did a great job at pulling this film together. Despite of having a very famous and very well done first film, they did better with the sequel. Inside Out 2 is just a very wonderful, even more so well done film compared to the first one. I mean, with the first one, it was well done. It was very well animated and everything. It really surprised me by how great that it was, including having one of my favorite moments in any film was showing the importance of sadness towards later on in the film. And Inside Out 2 is just amazing on in itself. I went into this not having high or low expectations, but somehow my weird expectations were met with this film that I had with it. And honestly, yet the lesson that Joy learned, I do kind of have to be like, really, we're kind of doing this again with her seeing the importance of something again. But I won't spoil it, but I'll admit it made me tear up. I'm like, that's a beautiful message. Well, yeah, it's still a lesson about something because, again, Disney is for kids. I have to accept that. It still is a beautiful message to have for kids, and I was like, This is so beautiful. I actually was tearing up a little bit. I'm like, no, Disney, not again. We are not doing this again. You made me tear up with the importance of sadness. We are not doing this again. Absolutely not. I resist. Sometimes. I cried at the beginning and ending of If. That's a movie I have to review on this channel at some point. Maybe I'll put it in a YouTube subscriber poll or something. I don't know, but I do have to review it at some point. But yeah, I can't lie. Inside Out 2 was a beautifully crafted film. Yeah, it had some flavor of the original film put into it. It still is in of itself a quite wonderful film. And it's still something that you can admire and something that you can basically look at and kind of smile about. And that is why my Funko Pop rating of Inside Out 2 is going to be a Spider-Girl. Why? Because it's amazing, it's spectacular, and just like with Spider-Girl with her father before her, there is something that you can honor and cherish just within a new form. So Inside Out 2 gets a new Funko Pop rating of a Spider-Girl. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you'll be notified every single time I make an upload. I believe the universe, have right nerdy, keep you on, and let me know what you thought about Inside Out 2 in the comments down below. Do you think it's better than the first movie? Do you think it's worse than the first movie? Or do you think that they're both equal in quality? Let me know in the comment section down below, as we have one more YouTube subscriber poll to do, but it's the one that nobody voted for, unfortunately. But can guarantee a lot of people will probably want to hear my own opinions on it. So guys, if you have any movie suggestions or any suggestions that you'd like to see turn into a review, be sure to leave them in the comments down below, especially anything from like Disney, because I'm a Disney kid. I can't lie. Half of this collection back here is like Disney, so yeah, don't be afraid. So let me know in the comment section down below. I absolutely loved Inside Out 2, and I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinion. And if you want to help this channel grow, the best way to do so is by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting that bell icon so you can be notified every single time we can upload, and sharing these videos around the web. Want to follow me at other places? You can do so with the link in the description down below, straight to where you can find me on Twitter. Just use the link in the description down below, and you can be able to find me, follow me, and see whatever the heck that I'm going to be talking about, or any behind-the-scenes stuff, which I don't usually put on Twitter, but still. So thank you guys so much for watching. I believe the universe, I write nerdy, keep you on, and until next time, guys, and as always, take care.